Hi folks, this is Greg Steffel from BuyInROC.com, and today we're in the homemakers neighborhood, one of the homes that I'm planning on listing, and I'm really excited to have with me today Mary Beth from Bloom Staging and Design. Welcome.
Greg, it's so great to be here.
She's helped me get this place ready for the sellers. So Mary Beth, what exactly is staging?
I look at home staging as the art of transforming a home. My primary task as a home stager is to help a home sell for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. And I do that by making a home more buyer-friendly, by highlighting a home's features and addressing any of its shortcomings so that when someone tours the home, it looks amazing.
Well, I've got to say, it's been a lot of fun. This is the first time I've ever worked with a stager. So when I meet with somebody initially to list their home, I'm going to walk around, I'm going to give a few pointers as to things that I think that, are really kind of glaring that I want them to address. But you usually go quite a bit further with that.
That's right. All of my staging projects begin with a 1-hour consultation with clients, and together we tour the home. Most homeowners are taking notes as we go through each room, and we address every little detail that a potential buyer might get hung up on. So everything from we should really clean out these nicks on the side of the wall to roll up the rugs, let's see these beautiful hardwoods. So it is extremely detailed because that's how buyers are going to look at the house. They're making one of the biggest investments of their life. They want it to look perfect.
Now, from what I understand, you have different levels of service.
I have a range of services, and that's because, to be honest, every home staging project is different. The staging of this home began with a consultation with buyers, and we toured the home together when it was absolutely empty. And during that time, we were able to discuss the elements of the home that should be highlighted. We also discussed ways to improve the house, everything from touching up paint to cleaning windows to replacing faucets. And then after my consultation, the homeowners went from there. And finally, I come back in to do all the fun stuff at the end. And when I'm back on the job, it's about putting the furniture in, the accessories in, warming up the home, and giving each space a sense of purpose.
But not everyone needs the level of service that this particular house needed because it was completely empty.
Every home is different. Sometimes sellers can take a consultation and run with it. Sometimes they invite me back in to stage primary rooms of the home. Sometimes I stage every single bit of the home. And sometimes I work on projects like this, which is a vacant home. And we bring in accessories and furniture to update the home. It all depends.
Why is staging so important?
Only about 10% of buyers can visualize a space with their own style, their own furnishings, particularly in vacant homes. So it's very important to use staging to highlight a home's best features and to show off what it has to offer.
Well, I have to say, whenever I've listed a vacant home, it sits on the market for months.
That's right. Vacant homes typically sit on the market for 80% longer.
And the thing that people don't seem to understand is, all right, it's empty. It's going to sit on the market for the next 3-4 months. You're paying a mortgage, you're paying your taxes, you're paying for heat, you're paying for all the utilities.
Right, and if you invest in this up front, you cut all of that out.
Absolutely. So now, when we look at the living room, there's a lot of great features in this room, but they were just completely lost because the room was so empty. Tell me, what did you guys do with this room?
When we stage the first room that people would come in to look at, the one thing we want to do is put enough furniture in so people can understand what the room is about, but also not too much because we want it to feel spacious and beautiful. It was essential that we highlighted this great fireplace and the built-ins, and we did that by adding a beautiful mirror above the fireplace, accessories that are warm and inviting and modern, but not too style specific. And now people can just imagine their own furniture in here, cozying up to the fireplace. Great.
Where do you get all these objects that you're staging the whole home with?
I am a hunter. I am out, I'm garage sailing, estate sales. I'm always in the clearance section. Part of it is, it has to look brand new. But in order to make it look brand new, that could be extremely expensive. So I want to get my furniture and my pieces at a high level of quality, but not very expensive, because eventually the owners have to rent it.
So when we're talking about redefining spaces, this is one particular area of the house that I thought we needed to kind of change the sellers' minds, because they see this as, well, there's the pool and where we've got all the pool supplies and everything, but really this is a beautiful space. It's a great room.
Yeah, it's a great add-on for people wanting to buy this house. So, not everybody might be into swimming, but now they can look at this room as a sunroom. And by putting a great seating arrangement here, they can imagine sitting here, having coffee in the morning, looking out on their beautiful backyard, and this room has a different purpose now. We always try to stage the master bedroom in a home because people want to know, will my bed fit in here? Or where would I even put a bed in this room? So right away we alleviate those questions, and all of a sudden they can see how big their space is, they can see these gorgeous windows, and they can imagine their furniture in this room.
Now, I noticed when you staged some of the other bedrooms that you didn't put a bed in, you didn't put a dresser in, you just sort of made a little notion of what the room should be.
That's exactly right. We often use vignettes to show how a room could be used, and it's a cost-saving venture for the seller of the home, so they're not investing in a really expensive bedroom set to stage it. And a vignette sometimes is all you need.
So when it comes to staging a vacant home, you're really trying to define a specific space with the objects you've put in that space.
Exactly. What we're trying to do is give connection points for potential buyers. So when a buyer comes in, they say, oh, this is a gorgeous dining room. We can imagine our stuff here. And we try to bring in accessories that are neutral enough, not style specific, so that everyone can aspire to be in this home.
Last night when we were staging the house, you made a comment that really drove home, especially when we're hanging up artwork on the walls. And that was, when somebody walks into a room, you want them to focus on specific things in the room. You want their eye to be drawn to specific things. And in doing that, it kind of lets the other issues in the room kind of fade into the background.
We're always doing that dance between how much do we put into a room to draw buyers' attention away from flaws, and how little do we put into the rooms so that it still seems spacious and big and that people can imagine their own things in that space. And you're exactly right. When we stick in an accessory, when we add some lighting, when we put something on the wall, the eye goes there instead of, oh, that's weird, this wall's really banged up, or, oh, the carpet's stained. They have something else to look at.
And I noticed that you are a real diehard about less is more.
I do not believe in overcoloring a space. We need to give it purpose, we need to make it look warm and inviting, but beyond that, let the house show itself.
It was great to have a third person come in, and I could just sort of step back and let an objective voice talk with them and point things out. I think it really helped our relationship, as well as, here's a professional. She knows what she's talking about. Let's take her advice and see where we run with it.
I think that I'm a great tool for agents because I can kind of be the bad cop in a really nice way. So I can come in and bring up all of the things that need to get done to the house, and your relationship with the seller stays intact. And it can just be like, oh yeah, that Mary Beth, she gave us a ton of work to do. And you can say, yeah, I know. And secretly thinking like, thank God for Mary Beth. And I try to educate sellers about why I'm suggesting what I'm suggesting, so that sometimes by the time we're done, when we get to the final room, they know what I'm going to say before I say it. And that helps me understand that they have taken ownership of what needs to be done to stage their house. They understand that there's rationale, and we all are on board together.
This house looks amazing. She's really done a great job. So if you're thinking about getting some help to help stage your home and get it ready to be put on the market, I would really highly recommend Mary Beth Nerone from Bloom Staging and Design. I'm Greg Steffel from BuyInROC.com.
And I'm Mary Beth Nerone from Bloom Staging and Design.
Thanks so much for watching today.